So here's a video idea I touched on almost by accident when I did that He-Man video a couple of months ago, and we thought that He-Man might be the latest release by somebody or other. I think we thought it might be Stern. Anyway, it didn't happen. Turned out to be Venom. Would have preferred He-Man, quite frankly, and looking at it, I'd imagine Stern would probably have preferred to have done He-Man, looking at how they're trying to sell Venoms at the moment. I don't think they've sold very many of them. However, when we were discussing what would be your dream theme, I got quite a few suggestions in the comments over the next few days on a few videos. And shortly after that, Luke, who is a really good guy, it was Luke that had Dolly Parton, which is the machine that used to sit there. He had Dolly Parton before I did. I went and collected it from Luke. Luke started up a thread on Pinball Info, which is the UK Pinball Forum. And he was asking about dream themes, but it was done with a twist. Because Luke wanted to know not only what your dream theme would be, but who would make it. And this is crucial. This is absolutely crucial because there are many dream themes that have already been made. And I'll give you a couple of them now. Terminator 2. For me, that's a dream theme. Obviously, this is all subjective. You're going to have different tastes to me, surely. That was a dream theme. It was just happened a little bit too early, I think. I'd love to see a Terminator 2 now done, but it doesn't have to be Terminator 2. It just could be Terminator. Well, one of the first couple. I don't want to see the last Terminator done. But with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the T-1000 and all of that sort of stuff, that's what I would like to see, but done in a modern way. So it was a dream theme, but maybe not executed in the way that I'd have liked it to have been. Star Wars is another one. Star Wars is absolutely a dream theme for me, but it wasn't. And you can choose whichever one you want, be it the Sega one, the Data East one, the Stern one. I think most of us would agree they haven't quite nailed Star Wars yet, and anyone. So that's a dream theme. It's a dream theme that's been done. I think certainly Lord of the Rings for me is a dream theme. I don't actually have any complaints with that at all. I have no complaints with how that was executed. Don't need that done again. It was something that I think it might have been either James or Dave Bishop, one of the two, had mentioned on the forum, which was that actually Ghostbusters was a dream theme. And I do believe that Ghostbusters might have been the last game that Stern produced before they went to Spike 2 and had the LCD screens. So maybe looking back, there's some that... Well, I know Ghostbusters is a game that divides opinion, doesn't it? Not everybody loves Ghostbusters. So it's a dream theme, but possibly it hadn't been executed in the way that you might have wanted. So, I mean, you can guess what I'm going to ask for, which is comments underneath this video so as I can collate them all properly. And what I've done is I've stolen a few ideas from Luke's thread on the forum. And plus I'm going to tell you some of my dream themes as well. And then what we'll do is we will do a return video on this. And then we'll really see what everybody thinks are their dream themes. But I do want to steal Luke's idea here. Not just dream theme, who do you want to make it? Now let me tell you, for me to do this, I've chosen 4 dream themes. 4 dream themes that I would choose. Maybe I might go with 5. But so first of all, would I like Star Wars done again? I would. Which company would I choose to do it? Well, it's going to surprise nobody that I'm going to say probably my favourite, and they've only made one game, my favourite pinball manufacturer at the moment is Dutch Pinball, just because they just pour so much love into it and they've just done such a great job. Dutch Pinball to make Star Wars. The guys there would put so much love into it. There would be so many toys. Everything. You wouldn't look at it and think, I'm missing something. R2-D2 would be completely interactive. There'd be a Death Star. There'd be the X-Wings. There would be Darth Vader. You just wouldn't look at it and think anything is missing. And, hey, look, it's just something I would very much like to see. My favourite band are The Who. For those, well, I'm sure you sort of know this. If you've been watching videos for long enough, there's enough Who stuff around here. My favourite album is Quadrophenia. It's an album that has a lot of personal meaning to me. And I would love Quadrophenia to be produced. And I think considering what they've just done with Elton John, and that I think they've shown that with the layout, with Steve Ritchie's layout, I think the fact they seem to have sorted out the flipper issues, I'm not sure I'd fancy paying £15,000 for it, but Quadrophenia, I would quite like Jersey Jack Pinball to do. I think they'd probably get it all right. Then I've got Blade, and I'm talking about Wesley Snipes' Blade. 1, 2, 3, whatever, put them all together. I don't care. He was cool. He was a badass. He really was. I'm not a great one. I have to say, I'm not a great one for superhero characters, and I am aware that I am saying that statement sat in front of a Deadpool pinball machine. But I don't really like Marvel stuff. But for me, Deadpool was an anti-hero. I don't even know what that means, but I think he is an anti-hero. Blade again. I don't know. There's just something a lot cooler about Blade and Deadpool than there is. I don't know about the Hulk or Captain America. Oh my goodness. Who else is there? Actually, Iron Man was good. The first Iron Man was cool. First Iron Man film by Robert Downey Jr. That was cool. He got boring. I quite liked Hellboy as well. I don't think that's Marvel. But you get what I'm saying. I couldn't care less about half of these Marvel characters. There are too many of them. Thor, forget it. Not interested at all. Blade, yes. And who do I want to do Blade? Stern. I want it to be a Kapow game as well. I just think it would need to be fast, Stern. Remember the tune. You see, Blade would need to be fast. You know the start when you got the bloodbath thing. Oh, what a cool! Is there a better start to a film than that? Is there a better start to a film than Blade, where the? Can I give a spoiler? Can you really give a spoiler for a film that's over 25 years old? Look, I'm not even going to say where the girl takes the guy to the nightclub. I don't think I've given any spoilers there at the very start. And then that tune's playing and the sprinkler system comes on. That's cool, right? That would be really, really good. Somebody needs to make Blade. Come on. And also the other thing I would quite like to see would be The Boys. If you haven't seen The Boys, I've just said I don't like superheroes. I think I'm disproving my own statement. The Boys, again, it's not really superheroes. It's anti-hero. It's great. I think I'd just love to see it. You know, Homelander and Billy, whatever his name. I can't remember his name. Billy Butcher. That's it. Billy Butcher. It's got to be CGC and Raw Thrills. It really does. And then finally, there is one more, but I can't find a manufacturer for this. I might have to double up. It's the Lost Boys. Ah, the Lost Boys. How cool's the Lost Boys? Maybe you don't like it. You might not share my enthusiasm. But I love the Lost Boys. Great soundtrack. Oh, that's going to be good. It's going to be good. Could Stern do the Lost Boys? Stern could do the Lost Boys. Stern could do the Lost Boys. I think they could. I might prefer CGC. It's this CGC Raw Thrills thing. And I'm aware I'm talking about a pinball machine. I'm talking about Raw Thrills and Chicago Gaming Company. I've not seen one of the games yet. I know some of you have played them over at the Expo. There's not a single one in the UK. And I'd love to get my hands on one. But I'm assuming it's going to be really, really good. And obviously I've been lucky enough to have the Cactus Canyon here, and that was pretty cool. So I know CGC make a good game. So yeah, maybe that. Anyway, so there you go. Those are my choices. But I'm not going to end the video there because I think it's only right that we reveal a couple of other choices, but I'm not getting into which manufacturer. I just want to run through a few here so as I can get this video up and get the conversation going, really. So Luke, who started the thread, it's only fair that we go with two of his. First of all, Rage Against the Machine. I think this is absolutely right. There was a lot of negative comments when Elton John came out about no music themes, no more music pinballs. I think you can. What I think they need to do is diversify the music type. And Rage Against the Machine, can you hear that fan? I don't know if you can pick it up on the mic. That's the fan in Deadpool. I must change it. I've got one somewhere. I've got a Pin Monk fan. But I'll tell you what, changing one of those I'm looking for it at the moment. That's why I'm looking around. Changing those Pin Monk fans into that metal box that's in there, it takes a lot longer than it should do. Anyway, I'll get it done at some point. I probably should have done that before I switched this video on. So yeah, Rage Against the Machine. I think that would be a good one, Luke. Also, Luke mentioned a film which I love. Now, I'm not sure this makes a great pinball machine. And it's True Grit with Jeff Bridges. Now, I think the original True Grit was John Wayne. I might be wrong. I think that was John Wayne. But a True Grit with Jeff Bridges is excellent. Matt Damon's in that. I'll tell you how good Matt Damon was. I didn't even know it was Matt Damon until I read the credits afterwards. And the girl... she's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. That's a great film. I'm not sure how that's working, though, Luke. I've got to say, I'm not sure how that's working with a pinball machine. But I like your taste in movies, that's for sure. Chris, who's, I think it's Fantasia. Is it Fantasia 2? On the forum, Fifth Element. Now, That would be some good artwork on that, right? So who's making that? Who's doing the artwork with Fifth Element? They got a lot to work with on that one. Spandangler said Home Alone. I can see that. I can see that being a good pinball machine. I really can. Kirk from Tilt said Blues Brothers. This would work. This would absolutely work, because the music is just so good for it. And again, lends itself to a really, really good pinball machine. Something that Drew said, and I'm going to credit Drew with this. Everyone said this. Let's say everyone. Lots of people. The Goonies. The Goonies seems to be that pinball machine that hasn't been made, that people are waiting to be made. Whether it will be made or not, I don't know. With a lot of this stuff, you have these licensing issues. And before anyone posts anything in the comments, you wouldn't get a license for that. We know. We're dreaming. Almost everything, if one of these gets made, one of them, I'll be amazed. Okay? So we're just dreaming. We're having a little bit of fun. Scott says Jackie Brown. Oh, that's interesting. That is really, really interesting. I'll tell you what I will tell you now. It's not off-piste, really, because we're talking about Quentin Tarantino. I love Tarantino films. Apart from Kill Bill. Bit much for me to be... I love Quentin Tarantino films because of the dialogue. As much as anything else. There's hardly any dialogue in it. And anyway, doesn't matter. I've got a new favourite. I think my favourite Quentin Tarantino film is now Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love it. I love it. That scene where Leonardo DiCaprio forgets his lines is amazing. Is absolute. And then he goes back into the caravan. What do they call a trailer? That's what they call caravans. So they call movie stars have trailers. You go on holiday in a caravan. Well, at least in the UK you do. When he goes, he's getting mad with himself because he's forgotten the lines. It's brilliant. I think he does so well. Yes, I really love that film. But Jackie Brown, Scott would like to see. New Forest Pinball, which is Keith. Keith, again, this goes back to what Luke was saying about Rage Against the Machine. Luke has said Run DMC or the Beastie Boys. This is exactly it. This is exactly it. This would be something totally different. There's got to be a rap themed pinball machine, hasn't there? There really has to. My friend John, J-Mac, and we've done very, very well in a competition recently. Well done, mate. I think the competition was at Tilt, quite possibly, was put on by Gene, put the competition on at Tilt. John did really well in it, so yeah, I'm really, really chuffed for him. I think John, like myself, would have liked a Dr. Dre one, and the 2001 album, I think that's what it was called. It was very, really good. It had Eminem on it and Snoop Dogg and all that stuff. I think there's got to be a little bit of scope for a hip hop based. Do they call it hip hop anymore? I don't know. Might be showing my age there. Whatever it's called now. I think there's got to be scope for one of those. And love Run DMC, really did. Vlagas. I understand this might be a sore subject, and I don't know the full story because somebody did a homebrew of a Predator and something went wrong or something. I don't know the story. I don't want to get involved. I hate pinball politics, really. Vlagas says Predator. That's a great theme. That's a great theme. I mean, it's just so much that you could do with that. And not so much of the later stuff. The early stuff. The first one, it would have to be the first one. I quite like the second film. It had Danny Glover in it, didn't I? I quite like the second film, don't get me wrong. Well, that was pretty cool. But anything after that, forget it. And sorry, I said earlier on at the start about dream themes, Alien is a dream theme. And the stuff that they're doing, so I think quite possibly Highway, not Highway, the Pinball Brothers now, they have a link up with a mod maker who makes some pretty cool stuff, really. Who's it might be called The Art of Pinball. I might be wrong. They do some really good stuff with that machine. That machine's really cool. I just can't get on the flippers are just underpowered and they feel weird, and I know I've mentioned it before, but it is a dream theme. If that was sorted out, I'm telling you, I'd have one here and it wouldn't leave. How's that for a statement? Nate said The Last of Us. Have you seen it? Have you seen The Last of Us? I know it was a game before. I'm not a great console games player. I'm not a great gamer. Not a great pinball player, truth be known. But don't let that stop me. And I understand it was a game. I don't know the game, but I did watch the series. Now, the television show, don't know. Maybe it's HBO. I might be wrong. Whoever did the show. There was quite a few people, I was watching this and listening to this, quite a few people who played the game felt that the show wasn't necessarily true to the game. I'm not handicapped by having seen the game, so I don't care. It could be completely inaccurate. I don't care. I quite enjoyed it. I wasn't entirely sure about all of it, but I quite enjoyed it. Was it better than The Walking Dead? I mean, that's another dream theme for me. It just was a terrible pinball machine, in my opinion, of course. So yeah, Nate's Last of Us, I think, is a pretty good shout, really. And the last one is from Spectrum on the forum. There's more than this, but this video is already 16 minutes long, so it'll have to be a second video. And I think, well, first of all, Tremors. Good shout. Really good shout. Great film. Really great film. But I can really see Tremors. It's not just, there's lots of these things are good films or good bands, but it's how much does it lend itself to a pinball machine. And Tremors would. You can make some good mechanisms. There's some good toys. I don't know why I'm wagging my finger at you, but there are some good toys that could be made by doing Tremors. Really good film. Again, the first one, pretty cool. That's got me thinking about June. The new Junes. I think they're pretty good, really. I think the second part of that's coming out. Very, very good. The other one that he said was Highlander. There can be only one. The sensation you're feeling is the quickening, Highlander. That one. Hello, pretty. Not you. That's what does he say? What does he say? Who is it? The Kurgan. That's what the Kurgan says. Funny thing, I'll tell you now. I know somebody that looks exactly like the Kurgan. And I mean the Kurgan. I don't mean the actor, because the actor's in everything. He was in the Green, not the Green Mile. What was he in? Shawshank Redemption. He was in something I watched the other day. Generation V. There you go. He was in that as well. Anyway, Highlander. I love that film. I absolutely love that film. I don't know. I bloody fan again. Excuse me. It's not my fault. Blame Stern. It's sort of my fault, because I've got a replacement. Probably had a replacement for over a year. It's there. It's there. There's the. I wasn't lying. I just found it. It's there. There's the replacement. Guess I should get to it. My mate Andy's coming over tomorrow to play some pinball, so maybe I'll. He's very good. Technically very good. Good at fixing stuff. Might get the nut drivers and the screwdrivers out and make him do it. But there you go. Anyway, there is a whole list there of dream themes for a pinball machine. They might not be your dream themes, but they're individually people's dream themes. Let me know. I think it's a great conversation. I think it's a great subject. I really, really do. And I just think if I could, like, for instance, mine, Star Wars, Quadrophenia, Blade, The Boys, or The Lost Boys. Just one of those. Now, there is something I'm aware that I have not mentioned, and I'm going to mention it now, and that is Back to the Future. The reason I've not mentioned it as a dream theme, because it is because, well, we're sort of hopeful someone's making it, right? Dutch Pinball. That's the rumour. Dutch Pinball. Don't know. Couldn't tell you. I honestly don't know. I hope. Fingers crossed. Both fingers crossed. Everything is crossed that Dutch Pinball, for me, would make Back to the Future. But that is very much a dream theme, so I just didn't want you to think that I'd sort of left that out. There are many, and there will be themes that I have forgotten, but I'm relying on you guys to let me know and remind me what theme would make the best pinball machine. And it'd be really, really interesting to see. I should also say, just before I finish up, I like original themes. It's not like I haven't played Galactic Tank Force yet, but I like that they're attempting to do that. I like the Legends of Valhalla. I think was a great thing, you know. And I think, look, Attack from Mars was an original theme. I think these are great. These original themes are great as well. But an original theme can't really be a dream theme, can it? If you're thinking about dream themes, I think really you're looking at a TV show, you're looking at a movie, or you're looking at a band or an album or a song. Actually, one song would make for a terrible pinball machine. I think you need an album, at least an album. And that's why I say Quadrophenia for the win.